Good afternoon, people. This is your man, always George Page, aka the Emperor of MMA Talk, coming to you live on YouTube. Now, most of the time I say WMMA Talk, but the fact is this is just about the guys. I really talk about men in the mixed martial arts community because the fact is they got enough. They get enough of attention. The women need a little bit more. But this fight I want to talk about because the fact is it's something that touches me personally, being a black man and in this country. Now, as you know, last night was UFC 273, and the main event was Volkanovski versus the Korean Zombie. And on that, the co-main event is Aljamain Sterling versus Petr Yan 2. As you know, this was I think one of the biggest fights that was going to go on this card. Probably one of the best, I would say, UFC cards in a while. So anyway, as you know, last year Aljamain and Petr fought for the battleweight title, and there's a lot of controversy because of that fight. And Aljamain had a lot of respect for the young man. He lives here and he's from the United States. He was born in New York, but his family's originally from Jamaica, and he was here to represent his country of Jamaica. And they is carrying the American flag, but the fact is he shouldn't carry that flag. That's this country has never had love for us people of color for quite a long time, but we live here anyway. And Petryan, he's from Russia. He's been a champion at that time for quite a while. This was a fight that was a great opportunity for the young Aljamain Sterling. But we all know what happened in this fight. I talked about this fight last year, and where Petryan hit Aljamain Aljo with a knee. And people were talking about, well, Aljamain is fake, he's faking. Tell me this: if you ever get hit by a knee or any kind of way, when he's a down opponent, you wouldn't be faking. I mean, it hurt, and it was just crazy. But we all know. Here's the truth: is Al, Petrignan did this, on purpose. There is evidence because I follow at least a lot of MMA and know, Khabib Medvedev, who's Russian, who was there at the fight. He heard, Petrogran's corner told him to hit, Aljamain with the knee. Because he told he told Daniel Cormier, DC, he told that to him because him and DC supposed to be friends. So because of that, Petrogran was qualified and he lost the title, and Aljamain became champion. And like I said, I know he didn't like to win that way, but like I said, young man, a win's a win. Be it a yard or a mile, a win is a win. So he should have took that. And a lot of people were just, doubtful. But here's one person who kind of faked her knockout, and this was Luana Pinheiro. She fought against just about just about a couple months after that fight when she fought against Randa Marcos, and instead of because they both were down opponents, and Randa hit her with up kick, and you know what? It shouldn't be. She was disqualified, but that was some bullshit. To me, that you were both down opponents. It's not a qualification. There's fighters who often hit a fighter with an up kick. Especially if you're both down. So anyway, Aljamain had a lot of people doubting his win and calling him a fake. But the fact is, he didn't. He won that fight, no matter what, how way. Like I said again, a win, a win. But Aljamain had took some time off. He had to take a surgery because of an injury he had. He wanted to come back, maybe a few months after the loss, but he had to recover. And the fight, like I say, was on last night, and it was an opportunity. This probably should have been maybe the main event, in my opinion. It was a pretty decent fight from, like I said, I listened to a friend who did a live stream and watching, and he did commentary, and that was pretty cool. And Aljamain had to really prove himself this time because people were so much down there. They already, had to fix it in. They already had Petrogran winning this fight, and Aljamain, you know what? That brother put on a good defense and a good performance. I mean, he didn't give barely Petrogran one quarter. I think he won the first two rounds from what I was listening to. And he put up a good fight. I mean, Petrogran did kind of bounce back a bit in the last two rounds. But you know what? It wasn't enough. And Aljamain's wrestling was just superior. I think he just hit his notch on this, and he earned the opportunity to shut down the naysayers. Because if you follow MMA a lot, especially if you follow me on and my friend Coach Sheridan Harrison, we talk about how the good part of most of the MMA base is mostly white males, and generally there's a lot of prejudice against anybody who's not white. And everybody's supporting supporting Petrogran, but you know what? Why should you put in a foreign national, especially a Russian? They did that same mess over there with Wilder versus Fury. But Aljamain won this fight, and he won it in a good, performance. There was no doubt that he won this fight. And I know people are going were booing from the because I hearing that how people were booing Jermaine's story. But you know what? Let them boo. Let them boo. This fight happened in Florida. As I said before, Florida is a shithole state. And the last time when they booed a black man who won a dominant forces against a hometown person, that's when Usman knocked out Sweet Jesus, George Masvidal. And like I said, even though I used to support Usman, but some things he said and did, as the whole Joe Rogan thing, I don't have no support for him. Neither him or Israel Alexandra. But this is like I said, you know, most definitely, Aljo won this fight. But Dana White has his doubts. Dana White how he is. He's always critical of anything. But where's your criticism when this mess happened? When this girl faked a knockout, where she didn't she deserved to win this fight. It should have been no contest. The judge, the referee should have courage to say, "I'm gonna call this a no contest." If you feel like, or just say, "Hey, Ronda Marcos won." You know, I remember when her corner people carried her out. Rarely ever seen somebody carry anybody out. Like she was like that scene from The Bodyguard when Karen Costner's carrying Whitney Houston. And then this fiasco happened. How Mackenzie Dern won, even though she did put on a beat of a fight. But the fact is, Teacher Torres, she was better striking. She had better defense. Teacher, to me, Mackenzie Dern she's still a little bit has some mistakes. She's not that good as people want to think. But the only reason why she got a push because the judge was looking at her water buffalo and was giving a little come say cum sa. And I don't think she wins. I don't think even Mackenzie Dern is not even going to get past the top four. She's just going to be beat up for by people like Jessica Andrade, or you got to face like maybe Jan Janan and whoever else is in that upper epsilon and strawweight division. But Tisha Torres should have won that fight. She deserves it. And I hope she don't get cut. I hope she don't. Anyway, much respect to Aljamain Sterling. He's with his girl, his teammate, and his mama. And see, everybody else is kind of smiling like this. But you know what? These are two strong Jamaican people. You don't need to smile to be proud of what you did. You don't need to do that. This is truthfully black pride in front of you. Even though it's you got a little bit of the white people here, and his girl looks like she might be Spanish or something. I don't know, but the fact is, great job for this young man. I watched him give an interview after the fight, and he was really, really, he just really, he really talked about how he felt. He really shut down the naysayers, the doubters, the haters, the racists, and that's true for this. It's a good number of racists that were doubting this black man coming here and defend his title from the Russian, who cheated, and cheaters never prosper. But like I said, much respect to Mr. Sterling for raising a strong young black man and proud of his Jamaican nationality and proud of himself. And his future's pretty bright. There's also he's talking about maybe when he takes some time to relax, and maybe just just take this win, defend his title, and enjoying this a little bit. He might come back and defend against T.J. Dillashaw, the steroid cheat, who cheated to get his championship. He cheated. He's the former, TJ was the former bantamweight champion, but he no longer is, and he's climbing away. So more likely we'll probably see that fight maybe by the end of the summer. Let this young man enjoy his shining moment. He deserved this win. He deserved this. And I know anybody who listens to the video who makes comments on it. You know what? Forget you. I know your haters out there. Like my man Tookie Josh says, let them hate. They can't hate no more. And I wish Aljo a great future in the sport of UFC and MMA. Also, if not, like I say, he likes to maybe get into acting. Hey, there's a need for good, strong black young actors in Hollywood, and I would support whatever he does. Like I said, I don't talk too much about the men in MMA because the fact is they got enough attention. But this one, it kind of touched me being a black man and what the struggles are people have gone through in this country over the years. And much respect to Aljo, much respect to his mama, and much respect to everybody else around him. It's been all the way to George Page, aka the Emperor of MMA Talk. Don't like, subscribe. I'm out.